Have you ever wondered why your skin is getting more wrinkled, your hair is thinning, or why those shoulder and neck aches seem to arrive earlier with each passing afternoon? If you've ever sat in front of the mirror and let out a sigh thinking, "Why do I look older today than I did yesterday?" Nikum. Then this video is made just for you. And there's one final principle that, if ignored, might just be the very reason you've quietly lost that youthful glow without even realizing it. There are habits that seem harmless, like rubbing your eyes when you're sleepy, skipping breakfast, or lying in bed scrolling through your phone in the dark. But they're silently aging our bodies day by day. And what's even more concerning is that these habits didn't just appear recently. They've been with us for a long time, so familiar that we no longer even recognize them as things we should change. When we were young, a late night didn't leave us tired. A day of irregular meals didn't matter much. But after the age of 60, the body becomes more sensitive, the skin thinner, the immune system weaker, and every small habit leaves a larger mark. And if we're not careful in time, these habits will quietly damage our health, cause us to lose sleep, dull our skin, and gradually rob us of our joy in life. But don't worry just yet. The wonderful thing is that with just a little change, a little more listening to your body, you can slow down the aging process and rediscover the joy that comes from the gentle renewal in every cell. In this video, we will go over 7 common habits that almost everyone has fallen into. And most importantly, the final principle may help you refresh yourself in a very surprising and gentle way. If you've already passed the age of 60, leave the number 1 in the comments, as a nod of shared understanding that says, "I too am on a journey to take care of myself," starting with the little things. And if you find what we're about to share truly relatable and worth spreading, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button to Senior Compass, so we can continue this journey together toward living healthily, beautifully, and peacefully. 1. Lack of sleep and staying up late. When sleep becomes a forgotten gift, do you still remember the last time you had a deep, uninterrupted sleep? No sudden awakenings in the night, no tossing and turning with endless thoughts, and waking up feeling as light as if you'd just been reborn? For many people after the age of 60, such restful sleep is no longer a given. It becomes a luxury, a quiet longing. Lack of sleep not only drains your energy but is also one of the greatest contributors to premature aging, both physically and mentally. During sleep, the body enters a recovery phase. The skin regenerates, cells are renewed, memories are consolidated, and the internal organs get their rest. But when sleep is shortened, fragmented, or irregular, this healing process is disrupted, leaving behind subtle but lasting damage. Younger people can afford to stay up late, working, watching movies, socializing, and just one good night's sleep can set things right again. But after 60, the body's circadian rhythm changes. Melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, gradually decreases, making it harder to fall into deep sleep, and much easier to be awakened by little things like the wind, a ticking clock, or a fleeting thought. So when we force ourselves to stay up, just to watch one more episode or scroll through social media for a few more minutes, the body can no longer compensate like it used to. The next day, you may feel groggy, with dark circles under your eyes, dull skin, a racing heart, and a mind that seems to drift further away from clarity. Staying up late brings along a host of other consequences. Blood sugar imbalances, high blood pressure, increased risk of stroke, memory decline, mood disorders. In fact, a study by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine found that chronic sleep deprivation can double the rate of cellular aging. This means that every sleepless night is not just a sad night, it's a setback to your overall health. Have you felt more forgetful lately? More irritable? Less motivated in the mornings? Take a moment to observe your sleep. Perhaps going to bed late or waking up in the middle of the night is quietly affecting your mood and your daily rhythm. To improve sleep after 60, you don't need to do anything complicated or force yourself. Start by creating a sleep ritual, going to bed and waking up at the same time each day. Turn off the lights earlier. Reduce blue light from phones and TVs at least 30 minutes before sleep. You might enjoy a warm cup of chamomile tea, diffuse a little lavender oil, or read a few pages from a paper book. A gentle ritual to ease the mind into rest. And most importantly, don't see sleep as wasted time, but as a gift of renewal. After all, no cosmetic in the world is more precious than a deep, restful sleep. No anti-aging secret is more powerful than letting the body truly rest each night. When you learn to cherish your sleep, you are also choosing to love your body with sincerity and responsibility. And each morning you wake with a gentle smile. That's the most beautiful reward for a good night's sleep, and for someone who has learned to live slowly, live fully, and live with gratitude. 2. Frequent eye rubbing. A small habit, big consequences for aging eyes. Have you ever noticed that whenever your eyes feel tired or something gets in them, your first instinct is to rub? Rubbing your eyes is such a natural, unconscious reaction, especially when they're dry, strained, or sore from hours of reading, watching TV, or exposure to bright light. Yet, this tiny action quietly damages one of the most delicate and sensitive areas of the body, the skin around the eyes. From age 60 onward, the skin around the eyes becomes especially fragile. The layer of fat beneath the skin thins, and collagen and elastin, the two components that keep skin firm and elastic, diminish significantly. This makes the area prone to sagging, wrinkles, and darkening. When you rub your eyes, the friction from your hands not only harms the skin's surface, but also puts pressure on tiny blood vessels, easily causing bruising, dark circles, and over time, deeply set wrinkles. Frequent eye rubbing also increases the risk of infections. Even when washed, our hands still carry bacteria from the environment. When they come into contact with the eye's mucous membrane, they can cause conjunctivitis, dry eyes, redness, or even corneal scratches if rubbed too hard. For older adults, a weakened immune system slows healing, and complications may linger for a long time. Many people think of eye rubbing as a temporary reflex. Just a little rub, and it's fine. But look closely in the mirror after years of this habit, and you'll notice crow's feet, darkened skin around the eyes, heavy under-eye bags, all marks of time, and of how carelessly we may have treated our eyes. Take a moment to reflect. Do you often rub your eyes at night? Do they feel dry after too much screen time? Or is it just out of habit? If so, it's time to stop and learn to love your eyes more gently. Instead of rubbing, use a clean tissue or soft cloth soaked in warm water to gently wipe around the eyes. If they feel dry or irritated, use safe eye drops or try herbal steam inhalation with eucalyptus or mint to soothe the eyes. At night before bed, try placing warm used tea bags over the eyes, a folk remedy that's surprisingly effective for reducing dark circles and relaxing the eye muscles. You can also build a habit of gently massaging your eyes each day. Use your ring finger, the weakest one, and move in circular motions around the eye socket, from inner to outer corners, with a touch as light as a butterfly's wing. This helps improve circulation, reduces fatigue, and prevents wrinkles. Eye care doesn't have to be complicated. Just a little awareness and self-kindness will go a long way. Our eyes are not just how we see the world, they're also how the world sees our youth, soul, and peace. A bright, gentle gaze can make your whole face appear years younger, without anti-aging creams or elaborate makeup. All it takes is learning to protect and cherish your eyes, a little more each day. When you stop rubbing your eyes, it's not just about breaking a bad habit. It's the beginning of a more mindful and compassionate journey with your body. Don't wait until your eyes grow dim and your skin creases deepen to feel regret. Start today, with gentleness toward yourself, beginning from the smallest action. 3. Eating too much sugar. Sweet. Today, quietly damaging. Tomorrow, have you ever felt that a piece of hard candy, a glass of condensed milk, or a slice of cake was like a small gift that soothed a lonely afternoon? For many older adults, sweetness brings a sense of warmth, like being pampered, like returning to childhood with mom's homemade dessert or a mung bean cake from the village corner. But here's a gentle truth worth reflecting on. Sugar may comfort your emotions in the moment, but it's also silently one of the reasons we age faster every day. When you consume too much sugar, your body undergoes a process called glycation, where sugar binds to proteins in the body, particularly collagen and elastin, which are essential for maintaining skin's elasticity and firmness. The result? Your skin becomes wrinkled, saggy, dull, and less toned. Smile lines, crow's feet at the corners of your eyes, are not just signs of aging. They're also the whispers of many years of unhealthy eating habits. After age 60, the liver and kidneys' ability to metabolize and detoxify starts to decline. This means sugar is no longer processed as efficiently as in youth, leading to greater accumulation in the blood and tissues. The result isn't just accelerated aging, but also increased risk of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, and other serious cardiovascular conditions. Even one small can of soda per day, if maintained for 10 years, can significantly harm your health. There's something subtle many people overlook. Sugar isn't only in candies and soft drinks. It hides in seemingly healthy foods like fish sauce, white bread, sweetened milk, and even your morning porridge. If you add sugar to make it easier to swallow. So, controlling sugar intake isn't just about avoiding sweets. It's a conscious lifestyle choice made with every daily meal. Instead of cutting sugar out completely, which can feel disappointing and stressful, try replacing it with more natural sources of sweetness. A ripe banana slice, a few plums, or pieces of just ripe mango not only offer a gentle sweetness but also provide fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that are good for your skin and digestion. Sometimes sweetness doesn't come from the taste, but from the lightness you feel knowing you're taking good care of yourself. If you've ever reached for sweets to feel happier, try this instead. Take a gentle walk outdoors. Listen to your favorite music, or call a loved one and reminisce over old stories. Joy doesn't always have to come from a spoon. It can come from connection, from the quiet kindness you offer yourself. Ask yourself, do you crave sugar because your body needs energy, or because some part of your heart is asking to be filled? That answer might lead you to a deeper, more lasting change than any diet could. When you begin to reduce sugar, not out of restriction but out of understanding, you'll start to feel the difference. Brighter skin, a lighter stomach, clearer thoughts, and sometimes an even brighter smile. Because youthfulness isn't just about appearance. It comes from the feeling of living well, living clearly, and not regretting the small choices you make each day. 4. Smoking. It's not just smoke. It's youth, quietly slipping away. There may have been a time when a cigarette was what people reached for after every meal, when feeling down, tired, or simply as a hand's habit in the middle of life's conversations. For some older adults, smoking feels like an old friend, a companion from their difficult younger days, woven into routines, clothes, the first coffee shop on the street corner. But then one day, when breathing becomes heavier, when your throat feels dry and sore upon waking, when your skin grays just a bit more with each day, you realize the cigarette was never your friend. It was a quiet thief, stealing youth, health, and the serenity that should have belonged to your later years. After 60, the body no longer has the strength to endure what once seemed small. Skin loses elasticity, oxygen transport in the blood slows, and the body's ability to repair itself becomes sluggish. When you smoke, blood flow to the skin decreases, causing it to become dull, dry, and prone to deep wrinkles that are hard to reverse. That's why longtime smokers often look older than their age, not just in their faces, but in their eyes, their movements. And it's not just the skin. Your respiratory system suffers deeply too. After years of exposure to smoke, the alveoli, in your lungs, where gas exchange happens, become damaged, leading to shortness of breath, chronic coughing, and increased risk of bronchitis, emphysema, and lung cancer. For seniors, these aren't distant warnings. They are the reality faced by many peers. You may have tried to quit before, and failed. You may have told yourself, "I'm old now. Quitting won't change anything." But that's exactly what smoking wants you to believe. So it can stay. The truth is, quitting smoking at any age brings real benefits. Within 24 hours, your body starts flushing out nicotine and carbon monoxide. After a few weeks, blood pressure and circulation improve. In a few months, your breathing becomes easier. And after just 1 year, your heart disease risk drops significantly. More importantly, quitting is not just about health. It's a declaration to yourself. I deserve a life that's easier to breathe, cleaner, kinder. You don't have to quit all at once. Just begin slowly. Start by writing down how many cigarettes you smoke each day, then reduce gradually. Seek support like nicotine-free mints, herbal teas to curb cravings, or keep your hands busy with gentle hobbies like sketching, puzzle games, or handwritten letters. Every cigarette you don't light is another moment added to your life, another deep breath on a quiet afternoon, another chance to hold your grandchildren without straining to breathe. And soon you'll realize, without smoke, meals taste better, tea smells richer, sleep feels deeper, and the joy of living feels fuller. If reading this makes something stir in your heart, that's a good sign. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're ready to step out of the smoke and inhale life in a cleaner, kinder way. Believe this: it's never too late to say goodbye to cigarettes, and it's never too late to fall in love with your body again, even if it starts with just one clear, smoke-free breath this morning. 5. Not taking proper care of your skin. When the skin speaks, are we listening? There's one thing often forgotten after 60. The skin still has a voice, not through words but through sensation. A hint of tightness in the morning, a darkened patch on the cheek, a crease that stays each time we smile. The skin doesn't complain or demand, but if you listen long enough, you'll realize it's gently calling you back to the care you may have once set aside. Many older adults often think, "I'm old now. What's the point of skincare?" That may sound reasonable on the surface, but underneath, it's a quiet letting go of ourselves. The truth is, skincare isn't about looking like someone else. It's about preserving dignity, keeping a sense of cleanliness and comfort, and saying to yourself, "I still care about me, in the kindest way I can." After 60, the skin is no longer thick and resilient. Collagen decreases, sebaceous glands slow down, and the skin becomes dry, easily dehydrated, and more sensitive to sun, wind, and cold air. Without proper cleansing, dirt and dead skin build up, leaving the skin dull, rough, and inflamed. Without moisture, it cracks, itches, and loses its natural elasticity. Yet many people unknowingly fall into harmful habits, washing the face with laundry soap, avoiding moisturizers because they feel greasy, or skipping sunscreen because, "I'm just staying home, there's no sun to block." But these seemingly small things damage the skin's structure over time, accelerating aging and making it harder to heal. Instead, you can start again, gently. Use warm water and a mild cleanser without harsh chemicals. Pat dry with a soft towel, Then apply a light layer of moisturizer. Natural options like almond oil, aloe vera, or oatmeal work well. In the morning, don't forget sunscreen, even if you're indoors, because UVA rays still filter through windows. If you love simplicity, just 3 steps are enough. Cleanse, moisturize, protect. You don't need expensive products. Just a suitable cream, a clean towel, and a bit of daily consistency. And remember, your hands are skin too. Don't wait until they're wrinkled and cracked to wish you'd cared for them sooner. You can turn skincare into a small daily ritual, like brewing tea or watering your plants. A few minutes before the mirror, applying lotion with gentle strokes, as if saying to your skin, "Thank you for protecting me all these years. Today, I'll care for you a little better." When you do this with gratitude, your skin will respond, becoming softer, brighter, and you'll feel yourself softening too. Skincare won't make you 20 again, but it will remind you that you are worthy and that you are still beautiful in your own special way. Because aging is not about fading. It's the season when we learn to cherish the body with wisdom and compassion. And if you've neglected your skin for many years, don't blame yourself. Your skin is still here, waiting for your return. All it takes is starting. Today, with one small step, with one softer touch, with one kinder glance at yourself in the mirror. 6. Not protecting the skin from the sun. When sunlight is no longer just sunlight, there are days of beautiful sunshine, clear skies, gentle breeze, that make you want to step outside, water the garden, or simply sit by the porch with a morning cup of tea. Morning sunlight, through the lens of optimism, can surely brighten the mood like a newly opened blossom. But within that sunlight, especially when we are no longer in our 20s, are invisible rays that quietly accelerate skin aging, without any warning. After the age of 60, the skin no longer has enough collagen to repair itself as it once did. Its natural protective barrier weakens, allowing ultraviolet rays, UVA and UVB, to penetrate deeper into the skin, breaking down its elasticity, causing pigmentation, freckles, wrinkles, and even increasing the risk of skin cancer. In other words, sunlight is no longer a harmless friend if we don't know how to protect ourselves. Many older adults think, "I'm just going out in the yard for a bit. I don't need sunscreen." Or, "It's cloudy today. There's no sun." But what's often overlooked is that UVA rays, the ones that cause aging, still penetrate clouds and glass, and are present nearly all day long, even when the sky is overcast. That means even if you're just sitting by a sunny window enjoying tea or hanging laundry on the balcony for a few minutes each morning, your skin is still quietly absorbing damage you can't see. In youth, the skin may darken slightly after a few days in the sun, then bounce back. But at this age, every unprotected exposure to sunlight leaves a trace. A sunspot, a patch of hyperpigmentation, a fine wrinkle at the corner of the eyes. Over time, these marks accumulate into the canvas of age, not merely due to time, but because we didn't know how to properly shield ourselves. You don't need to avoid sunlight altogether. Sunlight also helps synthesize vitamin D, essential for bones and immunity. But you do need to learn how to be mindful and proactive when under the sun. For example, if you're going outside between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., when UV rays are strongest, wear a wide-brimmed hat, long-sleeved clothing, sunglasses, and most importantly, apply sunscreen at least 15-20 minutes before going out. You can choose a sunscreen specially made for sensitive or mature skin, one with SPF 30 or higher, gentle ingredients, and non-irritating formulas. And don't forget to reapply every 2 to 3 hours if you stay outside. If that sounds like a hassle, place your sunscreen somewhere visible, near your tea table or by the door, so it becomes part of your daily routine, just like brushing your teeth or combing your hair. Additionally, you can protect your skin from the inside by eating foods rich in antioxidants, like tomatoes, carrots, leafy greens, citrus fruits, walnuts, and green tea. These help the skin better withstand sunlight and naturally reduce UV damage. Sun protection isn't a luxury or something just for the young. On the contrary, the older we get, the more our skin needs gentle shelter. Not for beauty's sake, but for health and self-respect. Think of it this way. If you cherish a silk garment, you wouldn't leave it under harsh sun. If you treasure an old photo frame, you wouldn't let it fade in the light. So why not offer that same kindness to your skin? The very skin that's journeyed with you for decades. And if today you've never worn sunscreen, never donned a wide-brimmed hat while in the yard, it's okay. Because the beautiful thing is this: every act of care that starts today still matters. And your skin, like an old friend, will still respond softly if you return to it with attention and care. 7. Chronic stress and anxiety. When the mind is in turmoil, the body speaks up. There are times you wake in the middle of the night, your heart filled with vague worries. Sometimes it's about your children or grandchildren. Sometimes it's just an emptiness quietly seeping into your chest. Growing older doesn't always mean things get easier. Sometimes it's when the waves of emotion hit hardest. And when stress lingers quietly for too long, you'll start to feel your body speaking up. Stress isn't just a feeling in your head. It's a full-body response, affecting your heartbeat, blood pressure, breathing, and even your skin's behavior. When you're sad or anxious for a long time, cortisol, the so-called stress hormone, rises. Cortisol directly impacts immunity, cell recovery, and especially skin aging. Your skin grows dull, lifeless, deeper wrinkles form, and wounds take longer to heal. Beyond that, stress ruins your appetite, disrupts sleep, and often causes you to withdraw. It drains you physically and emotionally. Some people stop eating when sad. Others overindulge in sweets. Some fall silent, others become easily irritable. And gradually, your connection to the outside world fades like a curtain drawn, leaving you alone with a carousel of swirling thoughts. But turning 60 doesn't mean you have to carry the weight of everything anymore. You've lived through storms, shouldered a lifetime. Now is the time you deserve to let go gently, to live in more peace with yourself. Stress is real, but we can learn to live with it more kindly. Start with your breath. It sounds simple, but deep, slow breathing is a powerful way to soothe the nervous system. Each morning, instead of leaping out of bed, sit quietly for a few minutes. Place your hand on your chest, close your eyes, and inhale deeply. Feel the breath enter and leave. Just a few minutes each day like this can lighten your heart and calm your body. Then, rediscover small but meaningful activities. Potting a flower, jotting in a journal, reading a beloved old book, listening to a familiar song, or calling an old friend to reminisce. These little acts, done daily, will warm your heart and teach your brain to naturally release endorphins, the happiness hormones. Also, talk more, whether it's with children, neighbors, or an old friend. A sincere conversation, a simple check-in, a smiling nod. All are forms of healing. Loneliness is fertile ground for stress to grow. So connect, share, and let yourself be heard. And if you've ever thought, "I'm old, what can change now?" Remember, the mind is the one thing that can always be renewed at any age. Every time you choose to forgive, to rest, to soften, you are slowing down the aging of your entire body. Let your heart become like a still lake, not because there's no wind, but because you've learned how to be calm when it comes. Then you'll see. The wrinkles around your eyes don't make you less beautiful. They add depth. A smile born from inner peace can make you look younger than any makeup or anti-aging pill. Above all, please be gentle with yourself. Don't blame. Don't judge. Don't force yourself to always be strong. Every day you open your eyes and breathe in softly is a day you can begin again. You and I have just gone through 7 familiar habits, simple, ordinary things that can quietly age our bodies and spirits day by day. From what seems harmless, a sleepless night, an eye rub, a sweet treat, to the things we've long accepted as normal, each leaves its mark on our skin, our memory, and even our smile. But what truly matters is not how many bad habits you've had. It's that today, you've started to notice them, and you're willing to change. Because aging is not something we can fully prevent, but we can slow it down with small and consistent choices, day by day. You don't have to change everything in one day. Just go to bed 30 minutes earlier each night. Just pause for a second before rubbing your eyes, and try a warm compress instead. Just once, choose fruit instead of a sugary snack. Just remember to apply sunscreen every morning, even if you're staying at home. Just place your hand on your chest and breathe slowly when you feel anxiety starting to rise. These little things, when gathered, create a younger, stronger, and more peaceful version of yourself. At any age, you can begin again. There are no limits to living a life that feels lighter, more beautiful, and more meaningful. The moment you choose to start today, you've already weathered many seasons, stood strong through life's greatest storms. So there's no reason you can't now master the smaller things: a nourishing meal, a restful night, a peaceful mind. You deserve to live well, to live clearly, to live calmly, not to prove anything to anyone, but to reconnect with yourself. If tomorrow morning you want to start fresh, begin by asking yourself, how can I love this body a little more today? It might be a warm glass of water when you wake, a few minutes of stretching under the morning sun, turning down a sweet treat that no longer serves you, or simply sitting still, placing your hand over your heart, and smiling with gratitude, just because you're alive today. If today's message feels needed, press the subscribe button for Senior Compass, so you won't miss the next beautiful thing we'll share. And if you've made it to the end of this video, I invite you to share one thing you'd like to change first. Will it be your sleep, your food, or the way you treat your own emotions? Growing older is not the final chapter. It's a new one, and you get to write it with more grace and beauty than ever before. True beauty isn't about age. It's about how gently we care for ourselves every single day. And if you're still learning how to do that, then you're already on the right path. Thank you for spending this time listening, like a quiet whisper at the end of the day. And I hope that starting tomorrow, you'll live just a little more lightly and stay young, longer than you ever thought possible.